Hi YouTubers. Today I'm cutting a piece of strontium titanate, a synthetic gemstone material with a high refractive index of about 2.4. So it's comparable to a diamond with its brilliance and brightness. This is a small piece, and as you can see, it would make a good triangle shaped stone or trillion design. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to cut a triangle shape. Even at that, it's not going to be very big. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun, I hope. The hardness is only about 5.5. It's just like glass. And it's not a real durable gemstone. And that's why it fell out of popularity in the 70s as a synthetic diamond simulant. And cubic zirconia took over, moissanite has taken over. But I've given this piece by my good friend Dean. And thank you very much, Dean, for sending this piece to me. And I hope to make you proud and do the stone justice. In the jewelry trade business, this was called Fabulite, and there's several other names, trade names that was used for this material. I can't think of them all, but anyway, it had popularity in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And it's still being made for industrial use. I'm not sure exactly what, but there's companies still making some of this material. Okay, I'll get it dopped up with epoxy and get started on the cutting. Okay, I've got my stone in my clay here. That's a silicone putty actually. And this is a target dop for dopping that I got from Mr. Tom Mitchell, a friend of mine. And here's the website, mitchelljewelrystudios.com. This sticky dop works very well for when you go to dop your stone. So I've got it centered just right. You may have to tweak it a little bit to get just right. Sometimes the putty's a little springy. It springs back at you when you try to move the stone, but I pretty much got that just about where I want, maybe just a little bit. And I'll go ahead and mix up my 5-minute epoxy glue, 2-part epoxy, and I'll get it on the stone and dop. And then we'll have to wait till tomorrow before I can start cutting this stone. I'm using JB weld. It says 1 minute, but I always wait overnight for it to dry. But this is the epoxy glue I'm using. Okay, I've applied the glue, and now it's just a waiting game for the glue to set up. And it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so tomorrow sometime, if I get a chance, I'll start cutting this piece. Our glue's dried overnight, and I'm ready to start cutting this strontium titanate. I'm using this design, faceting diagram, which is a triangle cushion brilliant. Okay, I just had a dopping failure here. Stone came right off the dop. I was just getting started to cut, and it popped right off. So I don't know what happened, if the glue's not good or what, but got to start over. I went back with wax this time. I'm pretty sure it's going to hold okay. I'm using brown faceting wax. I think it's Lico brand and I get it from Rock Peddler. Lapidary Supply. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, the wax is holding the stone onto the dop so far, and I'm continuing to cut the 90-degree girdle facets on this gemstone. The strontium is really producing a thick white slurry. Well, most all slurries are always white, but this is pretty thick stuff. It seems like it's even thicker than CZ. I'm getting my shape finished here. The outline of the stone now is a regular triangle. Needs a little more work. I've got a couple more girdle facets that need some more cutting. So I'm going to go around the entire stone again, take a little more off, then I'll pre-polish and polish these girdle facets before I move on. I'm cutting with a 1200 plated nickel bonded diamond lap here, plated lap. I've got some scratching or some kind of surface damage. I'm trying to figure out what it is. If I can just cut through it, you can see it right there. I had to cut this facet really big to try to get rid of it, so the other facets are much smaller now. So I'm going to continue cutting to try to remove this. I'm using a 600 grit lightning lap. I changed to that because it seems to be doing better and it's leaving a smoother finish. Alright, I've got the stone, pretty much the girdle of the stone, ready for polish. Still got a little imperfection right there, but that's not going to hurt me. That's going to be cut away. And another little spot right there. I don't know if that's a little fracture or what that is, but that's also going to be cut away. So I'm putting on the bat lap, which is a tin lap, and I'm going to use 60,000 diamond compound and see how it polishes. I may have to change to something else because This is uncharted territory for me. I haven't cut strontium titanate before, so it's kind of a learning experience. But anyway, stay with me and we'll see what works for this material. Well, everything's going good now. The diamond compound's working well, so I'll stay with this method of polishing. I'm also seeing some rainbow colors appearing in the stone, which is a good sign it's going to be a special stone. The colors of the spectrum are, I can see some purplish, greenish, bluish. With our girdle finished, I'm going to move on to the rest of the pavilion. I'm putting on a 1200 solid steel plated lap to cut the pavilion. And we have 3 sets of facets. Now these angles are for refractive index of 1.76 and since I'm cutting this strontium titanate, it has a refractive index of 2.4, so I've transposed some angles. I'll be cutting at 40, 38, 38 on my pavilion. That's 2 degrees less than these. Alright, the first set of pavilion facets are cut. I'm going to move on and do the other sets. This is cutting with the 1200 lap. Alright, all facets have been cut, and I've left the last set a little short of their meets because they're cutting so quickly. I'm going to bring those in with the 3000 lap here coming up. And I'm also experiencing some chipping at the edges of the facets. So I'm hoping the very fine 3000 and up grits will take care of those. I need to try to get those chips out of those facet meets where those edges are. But I'm not going to give up on it yet. It seems a little difficult to work with. This doesn't take much, just a tiny bit of time on the lap, and the facet's cut. Just a very light touch. That's all it's taking. This is final polishing with a 10 lap and 60,000 grit compound. I've finished completely polishing the pavilion. And I did have scratching, unexplained scratching, and some chipping along a facet edge. And why, I don't know. This is tricky material. Anyway, I'll go ahead and do the transfer next. Okay, the doping transfer is complete. Okay, Okay, I've now changed to a 3000 lap, a zinc lap, and I'm working on these first set of facets on the crown. Okay, I'll finish with step 2 of the crown, and I'm still cutting with a 3000 lap here. So I'll move on to step 3. Okay, step 3 of the crown, which is C. I'm cutting at 33 degrees. We have 6 facets to cut. These are the main facets. Alright, I've gone on to final polishing. I'm using the tin lap, which is a bat lap, and 60,000 grit compound. And polishing's very quick. I'm just making one pass across the lap and I'm checking my progress. It only takes about 3 passes to be completely polished. So it's really polishing quickly. Alright, I'll continue on and be ready to cut the table pretty soon. Okay, all that's left to cut is the table facet. Everything else is done. It's really going to be a brilliant stone too when I'm finished. Alright, I'll get started with the table. Okay, we got the 45-degree adapter installed, and our DOP stick is installed in the adapter. Got a 3000 plated diamond disc on the machine. That's a topper disc. Get our water flow going. And we're ready to get started here. Set at 45 degrees. And let's see. It's looking good so far. Okay, this is the final step of cutting this gemstone. This is the inner ring of a red wing lap, a 2-zone lap that was made by Gearloose Lapidary Products. And this has got 60,000 grit diamond on it. Hi viewers, this is Brent. In this video today I'm doing a recut of a piece of amethyst. This gemstone had a very worn crown, but the Pavilion was okay, but I decided to recut the entire stone. So here I'm polishing with a dark side lap, and I'm finishing up with the Pavilion cut. And this design is from a friend. It's a round cut, and I think she called it the sunflower. Here is the design that a friend of mine, she designed this design, and she calls it the sunflower. So this is what I'm using to recut this piece of amethyst. Turned out pretty nice. I think this was the first one she'd ever done. Okay, I went ahead and finished the Pavilion, and I'm doing the transfer right now. And I lost some of the footage, so I can't show all the steps, but here is the crown that's finished. And sorry, I just lost the footage of the those shots. So I had some problems with my memory sticks and such as that, but it turned out all right. And here we have the finished gemstone. Once again, this is called the sunflower design. Here's a shot of it outside.